I know Thanksgiving's right around the corner, but I'm too excited. By golly, I tell ya, I can't wait, so I'm serving up the turkey early. So I hope you've brought your appetite, cause here comes the choo-choo train open wide. I'm feeding you something very wacky today. This week, 2 Arizona school teachers lost their jobs after some of their OnlyFans content they were producing leaked. And it wasn't so much the existence of the OnlyFans itself, it was more so the fact that some of that content was filmed in the classroom that the woman teaches at. Her name is Samantha, and she was an 8th grade science teacher by day, but by night she was a penis professor. And she filmed videos with her husband where he would just fuck her in the classroom that she teaches at, just reducing a holy dojo of education to a simple cum dumpster. Now, in response to all of this blowing up, she's come forward with another video, but this time she's not getting her ass spread open, she's spreading her side of the situation. So, she has this video that explains why she did all of this, as well as going over how everything unfolded, and I'd like to share that with you all, as well as going a bit deeper about the situation, because it's maybe even a bit more than wacky. This is starting to teeter on the edge of being pure silliness, even, I dare say.
I created a content at the beginning of the summer in order to earn extra money on the side to help pay for our basic necessities that our salaries were no longer meeting.
So she starts by explaining that teacher salary, especially in Arizona, is dog shit. And you'll get no argument from me there. Teachers get paid in popsicle sticks, basically. I think their salary is laughable compared to the work they're expected to do and how miserable the job can be. You make more money boosting League of Legends accounts every other weekend than you do as a full-time teacher. It's fucking ridiculous. I think it's just sad. And her husband is also a teacher, so a 2-teacher salary isn't exactly like hitting the jackpot. That's not an infinite money cheat code or anything. So she says that her and her husband started to struggle with being able to meet the basic requirements for their family and their children, which is why she looked for alternative income methods and chose OnlyFans. But then the question still exists of why do it in the fucking classroom that you teach your students at? It makes no sense whatsoever.
I chose an anonymous name as well as blocking the entire state of Arizona on my OnlyFans so that it wasn't accessible to anyone living in the state.
I didn't even know this was something you could do. I had no idea our technology was this advanced where you could just ban an entire state from checking out your OnlyFans. It makes sense that she'd tried this approach here, so that way no one in the immediate area would ever find it, but clearly something went awry. The technology must not be bulletproof because they still found it, and rather easily, it seems. Just listen to this. One student reportedly told his mother that his teacher was spread over his desk. What a crazy conversation that must have been. Just picture yourself being that kid. You're hanging out, sipping your apple juice, just a normal 8th grade day, and a friend of yours sends you a link to a video your teacher filmed and says, "Isn't that your science teacher, Miss Samantha?" So you click it, you open it, and there it is. No secrets left. Your teacher is being spread like butter on toast, and it's on your desk. You just sit there thinking to yourself, oh man, I did algebra on that desk. And then imagine going into school on Monday and coming right up to that desk, like you'd have nothing but like these war flashbacks, these visions of cheeks being clapped on your desk as a tear streams down your face. I'm also curious how many desks she was fucked on top of, because in another report someone said, "That was my friend's daughter's desk, and she is mortified over the situation." It really seems like no desk was safe in this situation here. And I have to wonder, did they like clean up after themselves or anything? Because they didn't set it up like it was a scene out of Dexter where he puts up like all of the, sterile environment, like surgery operating room kind of shit. They just went in there raw and like in the actual classroom and fucked. Did they at least bring Clorox and wipe off the desks when they were done using it? Or did students then go into that classroom after the weekend and wonder why their desks smelt like asshole? This whole thing just doesn't make any sense. But you know what does make sense? How great my G Fuel flavor is. Divine Peach. Anyone that's tried it has had their lives improved for the better, I have no doubt about that. And now I'm happy to report that the cans are here and they're a GNC exclusive right now for stores. So if you want to find your closest GNC, there's a link in the description for that to pick up a can of Divine Peach. Now I've mentioned this on stream, but I'd like to mention it here as well. The caffeine content on my flavor is 140 milligrams as opposed to the standard 300 milligrams for other cans. And I'm really happy about that because that's the caffeine that I prefer. So I wanted to bring that to your attention as well. And there's also a sweepstakes going on right now for anyone who buys a can and takes a selfie of themselves dressed as me. You stand to win a G Fuel mini fridge or a 12-pack of Divine Peach.
The video that was created and advertised was made after contract hours on the weekend. No minors were ever present or involved in the videos.
I don't think anyone was ever trying to make the accusation that minors were present or somehow involved in the content, because that would be a whole different ballgame. This would be an entirely different conversation. That would be a massive, massive, massive crime. Now, what people are saying is, even though minors weren't present, the fact that you're using their space for adult content is a problem, obviously. So although there's no kids there, like juniors not knocking on the door to the classroom, "Miss Samantha, I've got my extra credit homework." "Oh, jeepers!" Like, even though there's no kids actually there, the fact that you're fucking in their playground is an issue. You can't just go to a kid's space and film this kind of content. It's not okay. You can't just like venture on over to Chuck E. Cheese and get your back blown out in the ball pit, film it, and expect nothing to come from it, expect it to be all honky-dory. And again, why did you want to use the kids' space for your porn? Why? It's not like that was your only option. You could have done your OnlyFans anywhere else, like at home. Why did you take it and film fucking porn in the space that you teach children? It is so fucked up and weird. And also, I'm sure all of you have realized this by now, but after school hours and on weekend doesn't necessarily mean there's no kids on the campus. I remember growing up, there were always club activities and shit that would go on weekends. So it was still very possible that there were kids in the nearby vicinity. It doesn't mean that there was no kids ever even close to their situation. It just, luckily, none of the kids ever, like, walked in on this shit. The whole video also isn't helped by the fact that she's clearly reading something she wrote in Microsoft Word and is trying to, like, keep up with it. So she'll take these long pauses to scroll, and you can see sometimes she loses her place in the document. So it also comes across as very insincere, since she is blatantly just reading it very monotone from her monitor. So I don't think that helped anything that she was saying here, to be honest.
I am already paying the consequence by losing my teaching certificate, as well as losing the job that I loved most. I thoroughly enjoyed working with my coworkers, teaching my students science, and it brought joy to me every day. Looking back at the situation, I wholly regret creating the video in the classroom after school hours. But I felt trapped in my financial situation, and I felt this was the only way that my family would be able to survive.
Really? This was the only way? The only option? Having your husband give you the Big McThankies from McSpankies in the classroom you are a teacher of. That's the only way your family could survive? How? And why couldn't you just film yourself getting fucked by him at your house, in the safety and comfort of your own house, in private, away from everyone else, and certainly away from the area that kids go to learn? Jesus Christ, if the whole idea was to sell a fantasy to perverts about a school teacher being fucked on the job or whatever, why not just set that up at your house? Just get a little desk, a TI-85 calculator, and a ruler, and then still have your husband give you the business there, away from actual schools. Like, it just seems like a no-brainer. So yeah, overall, a pretty wild and wacky situation. Again, I do understand teachers do not get a fair salary. Their pay is pathetic for what they do, and how important teachers are. They're, like, probably one of the most important jobs, and yet they make no money from it, basically. So I do understand the financial struggle, but that doesn't excuse what Samantha and her husband did here. All of their actions fucking in the classroom that they teach kids at is despicable and sick. So it's no excuse for their actions, but I do understand that the teacher salary is terrible. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, most people view Facebook as uncool or only used by old people. And yeah, there's a lot of geriatrics on there that are just ranting about the government putting microchips in their Raisin Bran cereal, or how 5G radio towers have opened a portal to hell that has allowed reptilian vampires to invade us in secrecy. But it's not just for these kind of unhinged rants and old people. It's an undeserved reputation. Nothing could be further from the truth. Facebook has some of the best video content on the internet. Nothing but straight bangers on there. I myself didn't know the beauty of Facebook content creators. I was blind to their genius. My ignorance was embarrassing. I look back on the Charlie of 45 minutes ago in disgust that I could even exist without knowing how great Facebook content creators were. I discovered them through Popo Medic's channel. He recently made a video going over bad Facebook videos. Popo Medic is actually the same channel where I learned about Detroit Urban Threat Management Survival Fitness Training Arena Turbo Arcade Edition Team America Gladiators. And that's when my third eye really opened to the beauty of Dale and his self-defense training. So I went back to Popo Medic and I've been checking in on his channel every now and then since, and I saw this about Facebook creators and I was like, huh. I'd never really gone down the Facebook content creator rabbit hole, so this was completely uncharted waters for me. The creator we're going to focus on today, his name is Jabrizi, and I actually recognized him because he used to be pretty big on YouTube for doing magic tricks at rap concerts, and his magic kind of slapped, it was good stuff. But it looks like he's done a full-blown shift to making Facebook garbage. And when I say garbage, I mean like actual filth. It is shameless. So you know on YouTube how a lot of creators will pad their videos to get over the 10-minute mark because they make more money for it? Facebook has that same thing. If your videos breach the 10-minute mark, you make more money from them. And Jabrizi does it in a way that is so laughably shameless, I can't help but applaud it. Now, as always, don't harass anyone in the videos. Just don't be a douchebag.
Anyone here?
So then he just stays in that room for the next 9 minutes. That's right, 9 minutes you just sit here looking at the same hallway with nothing changing, just to make the video long enough to go over the 10-minute mark. The laziness is impressive, and this isn't like a small Facebook creator. Jabrizi has over 10.4 million followers with videos getting over 100 million views sometimes. So this is the big time, and he's able to fucking squeeze them for all they're worth. What a fucking hero. She comes out draped in an American flag, make me want to pump my fist and chug a Budweiser. He is only on screen for about 8 seconds of this 10-minute and 18-second video. The other 10-minute and 10 seconds of this video is spent on just a hallway with nothing happening and a stock alarm sound effect. The laziness is absolutely admirable. It is so fucking impressive what you can get away with on Facebook. It blew my mind when I saw this one here. And people in the comments eat it up. There are people like, yeah, thank you for supporting firefighters. This is amazing. I was glued to every second of this one. I was on the edge of my seat. But then there's also equal parts people being like, why is it so long? Nothing happens. It's a waste of my time. But it still has tons of views. He gets so much money off of doing these things. It's completely effortless, and he's striking gold. He really is. I can't even be mad at him. He literally takes a concept that is about 30 seconds worth of content, if you can even call it that. And here it wasn't even 30 seconds. It was literally about 8. He takes that and then just fills the other 10, 15 minutes with nothing. Literally nothing. He just literally has a still image, basically. An unchanging shot of nothing. It's like that, what's that guy's name? John Cage, the guy who went on stage and did 4 minutes and 33 seconds of nothing while he sat at a piano. He was supposed to give a concert, but instead he just sat there on his ass and just hung out for 4 minutes. And people applauded as a really incredible piece of art. That's basically what this guy does with every video, and he makes a ton of money from it.
And you're going to see the gift. It's directly to your right, okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, uncover your eyes and look to the right.
Now, you'd expect her to see that her 2 children are right there, but she doesn't. And then you would expect her to, open the present and see them shortly after. But she doesn't. They dragged this one on for 16 and a half minutes. Yeah, no fucking lie. It is constant edging and blue balls, if you can even call it that, because it's not like you're excited. You obviously know all of this is fake as long as you're not actually senile or actually 2 years old. You clearly know this is fake, but the entertainment is supposed to be from like the feel-good nature of it, but here you don't even get that. It is just stalling and stretching and stalling and stretching. It is painful.
So we decided Chris is in street. My brother and my mom have two siblings. Have to be mom. Have to Chris will do 2 5 and now this is so special. We decided to split their flags on okay. No, it's I would say a pair of things, but it's more than one thing. Okay, I'm gonna spoil it. I'm gonna get into it. Okay, you gotta do it. Let's the last gift. No, let's show it. Let's go. Ready? Okay. Luggage. It's luggage. Turn that out. Remember off the desk. Maybe we start luggage. 5, 4, 3. When I get to 1, just pop out, look inside. Okay. 2. Okay. Are you ready, Mom?
Yeah, I'm ready.
1. Go. Okay. Just go. Just look. Just look.
16 minutes, 42 seconds. Christmas is over at that point. If you spend that long on a single present, all the food's cold and your family's already left. Uncle's already drank himself into a coma. Like, there is no reason these videos should be this long. Even if you're just trying to shamelessly stretch to 10 minutes, Jabrizi goes the extra mile and stretches almost to 20. I also love how in almost all of these videos, you can see how bored the people waiting are. Like, I'm surprised those two didn't just collapse and faint from blood loss from locking their knees standing up like that for so long. Like, I'm surprised deep vein thrombosis didn't start setting in. Their legs just atrophying from standing still for that long doing nothing. And you can really just see the boredom and pain on their faces. It is actually shocking what you can get away with on Facebook. It blows my mind that people will sit there and eat this shit up.
Very, very important.
Yeah, very important, huh? Why are we out here alone?
I don't have a husband.
Hey, keep your hands.
Sir, look.
121 million views on that one. It took her about like 40 seconds to put on the tummy and then the dress and put her head back on the police car, and then she sat in that position leaning on the police car for 16 minutes almost before it finally ends with her being like, water broke. You know, it gets to the punchline. 16 minutes. 121 million views. I really wasn't exaggerating when I said almost every single one of these videos is exactly the same like this, where they all stretch with nothing in there, just shamelessly padding for the most amount of money they could possibly get out of the system. It's fucking wild. Anyway, I just wanted to share this because it blew my mind to see this on Facebook. I imagine he's not the only one doing it. I imagine this is probably pretty common practice, but this is the only one that I saw. And probably the biggest, over 10.4 million followers that all watched this. So, yeah, I just thought it was interesting. That's about it. See ya. Every time you see a robbery in a movie or something, it's always super impressive. They'll have like these incredibly well laid out plans, full-blown Ocean's 11 type shit where they'll have like a getaway driver, 15 aerospace engineers on standby just in case they need them. They'll have like Jimmy Neutron in the lab cook up some crazy device to break into the big vault for millions of dollars. And it just always seems like, damn, you have to be a galaxy brain, 10-digit IQ mastermind in order to be a professional criminal. But then when you watch like a heist or a robbery in the real world, it's nothing like the movies most of the time. The plans are laid out in crayon 3 seconds before executing them. They're not looking at building blueprints. They turn their brain off and just go fucking wacky. They get insano style. So, like, they'll just run in there, like, grab, like, 5 things and then just, like, shuffle out the door, and that's the extent of it, and then they get caught 5 minutes later. And today I saw a robbery that I think is probably one of the worst ones ever recorded. It is just, I feel bad for the guy. Like, watching him rob it is agonizing because it's so incredibly slow. This dude robbed a Little Caesars in like -5 times speed. I felt like I was watching an NFL replay while watching this man try and rob the cash register. They filmed him for over 1 minute and 30 seconds. He just sat there trying to rob them. At first glance, I thought this was Pay Money Wubby robbing the place, and I thought to myself, God damn, he is really doing everything he can to get to the bottom of his turd kebab mystery. But then I realized that this is just like a generic default character in GTA Online. This was just like a preset. This guy's coming in here not even trying to disguise himself. Like, he didn't even bother to cover his face. He put on sunglasses, but they're too loose and they keep falling off. It's a disaster. It's like Robbery ASMR. He's not talking. The employees are just kind of making fun of him. It's just like they're roasting him. It's just no one's taking him seriously. It's so unbelievably goofy. And the thought process here to rob a Little Caesars, bro, the pizzas are $5. How much money do you possibly think you can get from the cash register? He was better off just taking the whole register and trying to sell that. He would have made more money that way. He's going through this whole song and dance prying open the cash register, but he probably would have made more money just standing outside making balloon animals for people that came into the Little Caesars. He would have got more in tips than he did out of this register. It is $5 pizzas. I don't know what he was expecting. He hasn't exactly hit fucking Fort Knox here. It's Little Caesars. $5 pies. Like, I think he maybe got $20. Maybe.
That's all you getting, bro? $60, bro?
I absolutely love that response from the employees. No, I just work here. Like, I'm not gonna risk my life. I'm not gonna beat this man's ass and risk, getting myself in trouble for the sake of saving $60 for Little Caesars. I don't care that much. I'm not paid to be like a fucking Little Caesars gladiator and fight for Little Caesars honor. That's the right way of handling things. Just the employees like, hey, all right, you're robbing it? Okay, I'm not going to stop you. I'll just call the police, which they do. And then they just sit here and record all of it for evidence. And this man just keeps flashing the camera with his whole goddamn face. They did the absolute perfect thing here in this situation.
Take that whole shit. Let me get some.
Yo, this nigga really just sitting here, bro.
Yo, that's all you gonna take?
Don't touch
bro?
me. Don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing, bro. Don't touch nothing.
No fingerprints, huh? Yes. Yes,
This is where it gets so good. So this guy with all 3 brain cells and every neuron in that goddamn barren wasteland of a head starts firing, and he's like, oh my god, I left my fingerprints at the scene. I know what happens next. I've watched CSI Miami. So he goes back in and tries to wipe down the register, as if the fingerprints are the main concern here, even though he's flashed his whole face with no sunglasses to the camera like 8 times by now. And he's doing all of this in the slowest speed imaginable. He's entered cruise control. It's like there's so much evidence here, and the one thing he's concerned about is fingerprints. So he goes in and tries to clean the scene. Very thorough job too, but greed gets the best of him. He became gluttonous, so he goes in for more money, leaving more prints. Yeah, so he grabbed an extra like $3 there and then tried to wipe down those extra prints, but kept missing the areas that his greasy paws were touching, and then just skedaddles in the slowest getaway of all time, just barely walking. He would have been faster if he crawled away. Like, Jesus Christ. All in all, I can't imagine he got more than 20 bucks. The guy in the video said 60, but I don't believe that. There's no way he pulled $60 out of that fucking register. All in all, he spent like a minute and a half emptying a register, struggling the entire way, looking super stupid just to walk away with less money than the register costs for repairs, and risking jail time. If he had spent this long just collecting quarters from a wishing well, he would have made more money.
That's all you gonna take? No, bro, you don't work here, bro. Don't get into nothing, bro.
Don't touch nothing. Yo, the store is shut down. The store is shut down, bro.
Yo.
I've never seen a robbery where at the end of it, everyone's laughing at the robber. Like, what? How shameful. How truly awful The most miserable and slowest robbery ever recorded here. It's like a PSA. You know those like over-the-top PSAs where it's like, you don't want to smoke a cigarette because you'll explode. And they just have like these crazy exaggerated cigarette smoking things. That's what happened here with this robbery. This is how, watch out kids, you don't want to rob. Look at how hard it is. And he's like fucking struggling with it for 2 minutes. Oh my god. There's no follow-up. I don't know if he got arrested. There probably won't be a follow-up since it's like a petty crime, but I'm sure he didn't get away for long. He was probably arrested in the parking lot because he probably just sat there. I don't even think he even bothered to like get away. But you could also see that the customer that had come in while the guy was still robbing them was really contemplating if it was worth beating this guy's ass. He could have easily snapped him in half, I think, and then he even like, you know, wandered out the door a bit to contemplate further, but the employees are like, bro, it's really not worth it. And it wasn't, you know, he didn't need to beat his ass. This was far more embarrassing than any ass beating could have been. So hopefully that customer also did get like some pizza or something, and they all just laughed about it. What a remarkably embarrassing robbery, and I just wanted to share this today because it put a smile on my face, so yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I've used Uber and Lyft hundreds of times each, Uber more than Lyft, and I've never had a notably awful experience before. You know, I've never gotten into a car and felt unsafe. You know, I look at my driver and he's wearing like a trench coat and sharpening a hacksaw and then winks at me. I've never had like a really bad time with ride sharing. The only time it got wacky and weird was one time I took an Uber leaving the bar, and on the way home, I was convinced I was in the car with a prophet, like an angel. We were driving on the interstate, just two boys being dudes, and out of nowhere, the Uber driver pulls a prophecy out of his asshole. He said, this guy's about to hit the median. And at first, I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought it was like a riddle that I had to solve or something to get money off of the Uber rides. I was like, oh, the answer is time, you know? But then I realized he was talking about the car in front of us, obviously. And it felt really weird to me because the car wasn't doing anything weird. We were behind them for a little while, like maybe a mile or two, and they weren't driving erratically or recklessly. They didn't look like a drunk driver or anything. And then out of nowhere, a couple of seconds after he said that, he like willed it into existence. The car swerved and scraped against the median and then tried to get back into the lane. Out of fucking nowhere. I was like, oh my god, we are living in a simulation. But yeah, that was my weirdest experience with Uber and ride sharing in general. But of course I've seen the horror stories, like the absolutely awful ones, and this is one of those. This is a pretty special one.
You know, I'm just trying to ask you to go to speed limit is all.
I'm saying I'm gonna go.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Don't really know what's going on in her car here. She's created a little crime scene there. Like, stepping into this vehicle looks like you'd be stepping into your neighbor's shitty haunted house on Halloween. It's just really goofy looking. I don't get it. I guess it's supposed to be early Halloween decorations. She's got like a blow-up sex doll in the passenger seat. Or maybe it's there to like prevent her passengers from getting up front. Like, hey, you can't sit there. Clearly, this inflatable Mr. Krabs doll's taking that seat. So just get in the back, alright? You know, I don't even know what the fuck it is. I mean, maybe it's an inflatable clown or something. I couldn't tell you, but it's pretty weird stuff. Now what happened is the passenger asked if they could roll down the window and drive the speed limit, which I think is a pretty reasonable request because this lady's out here driving like it's Grand Theft Auto 5. I was half expecting her to try and ramp this vehicle off of a parked tow truck. She's treating it like it's Fast and Furious universe and she's trying to catch Dominic Toretto. So it's not like the passenger's being an asshole or anything, just asking, hey, can you drive the speed limit so you don't kill both of us here? And that just sets her off. She loses her goddamn mind there. Slow down! Fucking yanks on the e-brake and does a 360. Suck on this, pussy fart! You can hear, like, this tire start screeching. She completely takes her eyes off the road, turns around and starts swiping at the camera like she's a kaiju, like Godzilla trying to knock over a building. And meanwhile, the passenger's laughing the entire time. The absolute fucking dick on this man. The fucking balls of pure adamantium to laugh through an experience like this is inspiring. They could have very easily died here. The driver went feral and totally forgot they were operating a vehicle. This could have ended up like the Billy Madison scene where O'Doyle Rules just fucking shoots their car off a cliff like a missile. And meanwhile, the whole time, the guy's just giggling about it.
All right. Well, you got to. Hey, you're gonna have to open that trunk. I'm not going anywhere until you open that trunk.
Unironically, she starts squealing. literally squealing. This is what a small dog sounds like when it's trying to intimidate a larger dog, but it's also very afraid as well. It actually sounds like somebody stepped on a toad. It is shocking that a human being can make this noise with their vocal cords. This is what it sounds like to smoke 15 packs a day.
All right.
Car now.
Well, you're
Get out of my car now.
hey, you're gonna have to open that trunk.
Sorry to hit you with the surprise instant replay on the Jumbotron. It's just I'm so impressed with her ability to hit this screeching note. This is the brown note. Like, hearing that makes a human being involuntarily shit themselves. This is such an abhorrent sound. It's like someone's recorder broke, but they still desperately tried to play hot cross buns on it.
Get out. Get out. Get out.
Nope. You're gonna have to get my bag out of your car. I just want my bag, man. That's all I want was my bag. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm no Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, but I'm pretty sure this is a highly illegal act here. You can't just pull over on a busy interstate and kick out the passenger, because they could easily just get hit by a car and die, and you're fully responsible for it. What a remarkably reckless decision from this asshole here. But credit where credit is due, she did slam him with a real humdinger, saying, "Fuck you and fuck your mom too." So she tossed in a "your mom" there, so she really got him. I was really hoping she'd double down and go for a D's nuts as well. Just be like, "Hey, yeah, you can you get off at the D's exit and find another Lyft. D's nutties." Then she fucking peels out, poof, drifts in there. But she handled herself like a professional, only sticking with a "your mother" statement as she launched his suitcase across the road.
Me too.
So she's running around barefoot like a hobbit, threatening an Uno reverse card, saying, "Well, I'm also filming everything, so that way we have two angles of how stupid I am and how reckless of a driver I am." I don't think there's any world or any multiverse out there where there's a single reality where what she was doing was justifiable. She was driving extremely fast and reckless. She turned around to swipe at the guy's phone while driving extremely fast, tires screeching, and then pulling off to the side of the road to kick him out. Pretty hard to defend stuff, I'd say. As she blasts off back onto the road, she nearly clipped the van that was next to her because she tried to get back too early, and that would have been an absolute catastrophe. Her road rage almost got even more people hurt. Then she left this guy stranded. I'm assuming he was able to find his way back to civilization after being dropped off in the middle of fucking nowhere on the interstate. And yeah, I don't really think this is the best Lyft experience. I would imagine this is at the absolute least 2 stars, I would say. It has to be. Because this was not great. This was not, spectacular service, I would argue. But at least he survived the trip. I was getting worried when she was driving the car and slamming backwards, screeching tires and shit. I thought that was just going to be the end of him. I thought we were looking at like some Blair Witch Project found footage kind of shit, but luckily everyone was okay. That's about it. So yeah. People are more gullible now than they ever have been in the history of this species. That is just a fact. People are throwing away any level of thinking and rationality just to believe in the most outlandish garbage imaginable and just falling victim to every scam you could ever possibly drum up. 3 days ago, the stupid man's genius, Terrence Howard, went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Joe Rogan only piped up for 13 minutes out of this 3-hour Arkham Asylum debriefing. That's 13 minutes worth of speaking from Rogan here. The rest was Terrence Howard brainwashing idiots into thinking that he's some kind of enlightened genius. For almost a decade now, Terrence Howard has gone on this international mission to convince the world that teriology is the future. That's what he calls his logic language. Teriology. Let that just marinate in your noodles up here for a second. You're believing in a guy who's fucking preaching about teriology. So, there already exists so many people that have broken down everything Terrence Howard is wrong about in the teriology logic language system. I'm just going to focus on his biggest one. 1 times 1 equals 2. That is something that he has built his entire fucking identity around when it comes to his math. And for the first 9 years of this one-man traveling circus, everyone laughed at him because it's so outrageous. If we followed Terryology, cars, phones, planes, medicine, literally everything that is keeping you alive right now would not exist because his logic language is fundamentally wrong. It's not up for interpretation. He is provably wrong in every possible measurement. And I want to dive into this deeply because so many people are thinking that he is correct. They are throating his cock and balls, literally slobbering all over his meat because he went on Rogan and used words they didn't understand. So since they didn't understand the words, they took it as a sign that this guy's the fucking chosen one when it comes to math. I'm not even mad at Terrence Howard. I want to make that clear. I'm mad that a lot of people think Terrence Howard is right. I'm more mad at the gullibility of people to just take this at face value without doing any level of thinking for themselves. It's so easy now for people to just throw away their own thoughts and just let people tell them what they should believe in. They're like, yep, that sounds right. I want to believe in that, so I will. It's so fucking frustrating because that sets us so far back. Now, before I even dive deep into this rabbit hole, I want to tackle his biggest one that he has always put on the boxing gloves and fought for the honor of, which is 1 times 1 equaling 2. He even made his own YouTube video here explaining how 1 times 1 equals 2, and admittedly, if you set aside everything that he's wrong about, he's still fucking wrong. He doesn't even come close to accidentally tickling something correct. He is fishing around in the dark looking for a urinal to piss on, but he keeps pissing on the floor because he can't find it. He doesn't decide to just turn the lights on. He wants to live in this absolute, void of logic. I am going to demonstrate why 1 times 1 can never equal 2. A third grader could do this, and I'm going to break it down in a way that no matter how stupid you are, and no matter how much you want to believe in this concept, it can't work. In no dimension in the multiverse could this ever be a real possibility. So when you're saying times, when you're using multiplication here, you're talking about the groups of something. So one group of 1 is 1, but let's get more physical with it. And I'm going to do it using a physical object here. We're going to get real, kinetic with it. And I'm going to use the GamerSupps Moist Waifu Cup. So this is me on the cup, big titty anime girl. It's available at gamersupps.gg. I'll put a link to it in the description. It's available for the next 2 weeks. This just seemed like a natural segue into mentioning that while I demonstrate this. Now let's put this concept into practice in a real-world scenario. You catch me at the grocery store, you say, "Pardon me, Charles, looking extraordinarily breedable as ever today. I have this box of moist GamerSupps waifu cups. Come take a peek." And I march on over and I say, "By Jove, look at that. There is a single moist waifu shaker cup in that box. There is one box with one moist GamerSupps cup in it. One box with one cup. I pick that up. I would have one shaker cup. 1 times 1 equals 1. That's just how it works. There's not any scenario where all of a sudden this waifu shaker cup is going to start budding like it's fucking SpongeBob and I'll end up with 2 somehow. That's not how it works. I have one box that has one cup in it. You come up to me again, this time it's at a Sam Ash music store, I'm fucking blowing away at a trumpet. You say, "Charles, check out these moist GamerSupps waifu shaker cups I have in these boxes." I say, "Oh, how many cups are per box?" You say, "There's 2 waifu shaker cups in these boxes," and I have 2 boxes. 2 boxes of 2 waifu shaker cups, that's 4 total waifu shaker cups. 2 times 2. It's like, this shouldn't be a hard thing for people to grasp. These aren't hard to understand, but when you have someone like Terrence Howard preaching just completely incorrect things, it's able to mislead people who want to believe in something different, that want to have this big paradigm shift in mathematics, which I don't really get. Why do you want mathematics to change? The only reason you're alive right now is because of that. You would have likely already been mauled by a bear, died from an infection, died from dysentery, wouldn't have made it past the Oregon Trail, like way before you even made it to whatever your current age is, if we didn't have math. We wouldn't be where we are today. You wouldn't be watching this. You would likely be out there hunting and gathering and probably dying in the process. There is nothing that changes about this kind of concept when it comes to math. Now, it's important to note, I'm not a mathematician. That's something Terrence Howard and I have in common. But I think if I was a mathematician, most of you would trust me less. You'd think I'd been indoctrinated by big math or something to keep the genius revolutionaries like Terrence Howard down when it comes to these innovative concepts of new math. No, an actual child could prove why 1 times 1 will always equal 1 and never 2. It doesn't take a genius to prove that Terrence Howard is wrong. It takes an ordinary person using their own brain a little bit. And Terrence Howard is hoping that you're not one of those people that think for themselves. For some reason, we've entered the age where people don't trust experts anymore. The individuals that have dedicated their lives to a certain subject like math now have the most scrutiny from the average ordinary person, thinking that they're wrong and evil. There must be like a puppet master behind the scenes controlling the experts. Instead, the average person would rather put their faith in someone that has never studied math and never done anything properly in the subject that they're preaching about, like Terrence Howard. He has dedicated his life to being wrong. Meanwhile, the experts that just get fucking torched by people that don't understand math have an entire history of inventions to show for it that these people are literally using to criticize them. These inventions that they take for granted is the product of that math, not Terrence Howard's teriology math. If teriology was the correct mathematics, where are those drones that he was talking about for Uganda? Where is all of the potential huge breakthroughs using teriology? Where are those inventions? Now, over a year ago, I did make a video on Terrence Howard going over some of his more ridiculous and embarrassing moments. I'm not going to really harp on those here because a lot of people went from Joe Rogan to that video and said that I was just attacking him on like a personal level or something, which I really wasn't. I was just explaining why a lot of this is so silly and I was making fun of it, as everyone used to do back when we used to think for ourselves instead of just be spoon-fed all of our opinions. So, what I did talk about in that video is something I'm going to briefly mention though. He tried to scam all of Uganda by promising them these drones that literally just don't work. I'm just going to play you a clip from that again to remind you that Terrence Howard uses this math in pretty nefarious ways from time to time, like in the case with Uganda drones from the hydrogen proton geometry.
Was there for 2 years until I saw that there was an inconsistency with the math there. And so I went out to explore a new way of understanding how the universe works, and I was able to define the grand unified field equation they've been looking for and put it into geometry.
Once again, just a friendly reminder, there is nothing more consistent than 1 times 1 equals 1. To represent it one more time, I have one box with one waifu cup in it. 1 times 1. The total waifu cups is 1. One box has one of these in there. There is one of these in total.
And then with that geometry, I was able to put props on that. And what I'm saying is now we have invented a new form of flight that I would like to bring here to Uganda to replace the drones, to replace the helicopters, to replace the planes. This is the geometry of hydrogen. Of hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
This is the proton itself. So any bond that hydrogen can make, our linchpins are able to make.
It's been 2 years since this, and it doesn't seem like Uganda's any closer to having those Terrence Howard promised hydrogen proton geometry new flight machines that reinvent flight as we know it. But maybe it's just a project that takes a long time. Maybe he's at Area 51 right now cooking that shit up with the aliens. Who's to say? There's just no updates on it. So I'm excited to see Terrence Howard's update on these hydrogen proton geometry flying machines. But let's be fair here. Let's take a peek at both sides. Terrence Howard actually did publish something trying to prove that 1 times 1 equals 2 and that the world of science and math is wrong. You can read through the whole paper yourself if you'd like, and hopefully you'd come to the obvious conclusion that he is still incorrect in everything that he's breaking down here. He's using all of these incredible leaps in logic to get to his conclusion. What I want to highlight, though, is in his own paper here, he has a whole section dedicated to the Anunnaki Sky People. Some call them the Anunnaki, the Sky People, whoever they were that gave naive generations some 6,000 years ago a multiplication table and a flat view of universal geometry. They gave that poor, misguided people a false axiom upon which to build their world. In a paper that's supposed to all be about logic and math, where the fuck did the Anunnaki Sky People come from here like a jump scare? What in the world? That should immediately trigger your bullshit alarms. That is unhinged to include in this. Like, it showcases that he fundamentally doesn't even understand where math comes from in the first place. He makes it seem like math is something that was given to us. Math is not an invention. Math is a discovery. It's something we learned. It's not something that we created based upon an Anunnaki Sky People gift. a ruse from the Anunnaki. Also, I love how he can just slide in whatever nonsense he wants without any type of citation or proof behind it. Oh yeah, this is all based upon what the Anunnaki gave us 6,000 years ago. Well, trust me, I know. I was there, actually. I saw it. Terrence Howard, I'm immortal. I saw it. I was actually there during the trade of the Anunnaki geometry and the naive generation 6,000 years ago. That's how. That's my proof. That's my evidence. Like, people just take what he says and just run with it. Like, oh, that's great. And like, they ignore it. Like, on Joe Rogan, he had a whole section dedicated to how he can remember his birth.
I was inside my mother's womb. And I was about maybe 6 months inside the womb. And I'm like, okay, don't forget I'm here. Okay. Don't forget. You go to sleep. You wake up again. Now something's moving in front of you. And you're like, oh, that's my friend. But I had a different name for it. I didn't know it was my hand. But I knew I had a title for it. Go back to sleep, all of those things. Then ultimately you get ready to come out. I remember all of that.
You remember coming out?
Remember being compressed.
That is legitimately not possible. There were some doctors that weighed in on this because a lot of people were like, this is incredible. He truly is like this super genius. He even remembers being in his mom's womb. You can't. You actually can't. You don't even start storing memories in your brain at those stages because it is still developing. So they're not fully developed. Thus, those parts that are responsible for memory storage and memory retrieval aren't there yet. You can't. And you certainly wouldn't be able to recall them. Now, a couple doctors did say that in very rare cases, you can recall some feelings, which is why if you had like a traumatic birth, that could play a role in your life later on. Like, you do form memories as a baby, but due to infantile amnesia, you can't recall them. So the memories you're forming are things like your mother's face, shit like that. As a baby, you do form those memories. You can recall your mom's face, but as you grow up, you are never going to remember those moments. You can't. Except in like extraordinarily rare cases, which don't have a ton of documentation surrounding or proof around, but there are a couple of cases where people do claim that they can. But in Terrence Howard's case, not even those extraordinary circumstances go as far as him, where he's remembering in the womb and saying to himself, don't forget, and then giving a name to his hand. That's just ridiculous. And then he says that the proof of this on Rogan is that when his wife was pregnant, he'd shine a light on her belly and then play music. And he did that for like a week, and then he stopped shining that light and playing the music, and then the baby's hand pushed on his mother's stomach. That was his proof that Terrence Howard remembered everything in his mom's womb. Once again, a complete misunderstanding of the things that he's fucking talking about with it. And there were a lot of people that said like, oh, that was a really weird section, but he was right about everything else. Why are we ignoring things like that? That is not something you should ignore. That is very clearly a red flag in the logic and the person behind the logic. It's ridiculous. Like, they're like, oh, no, he was definitely weird about the whole remembering being in the womb nonsense. But he was totally right about gravity not being real. Like, disproving gravity, he fucking nailed. And 1 + 1 = 2, absolutely on the money with it. Been saying it for years. It's so ridiculous. People just want to believe in the most, like, I don't even know the right word for it. The most over-the-top special ideas just to feel like they're smarter than everyone else. At least that's the impression I get. Because there is no way you would ever logically reach these conclusions unless you just wanted to believe Terrence Howard because it's fun and it makes you feel special. That's the only way. Because if you ever try and employ any of these in the real world, they fall on their fucking face. Again, 1 × 1 never equals 2. So if you ever try and use any of the teriology in your day-to-day life, it's not going to work. You're going to be left high and dry with your dick in your hand. It's not going to function. It can't. It doesn't. And for some reason, we are now in this age where people are just like, it doesn't matter. He's probably still right. Like, what the fuck? It's so stupid and frustrating. It really is. Like, again, I'm not even mad at Terrence Howard. Like, it's not a crime to be dumb. And it's not wrong to, like, pursue things outside of the already established, mainstream belief system. I think that's extremely important to a healthy society, always challenging the things that you're given. But this is the exact opposite. People aren't challenging what Terrence Howard is feeding them. They're just accepting it with a fucking smile on their face and not asking any questions. Terrence Howard pursuing this is not the biggest deal in the world to me. In fact, I do think in a lot of cases that can be really helpful. If someone goes out and challenges like some really well-established theories or whatever, like, let's see. It's always important. But he has come back with incorrect conclusions and still preaches about how everyone else is wrong, without ever demonstrating why he's right. He has nothing to show for his teriology. No creations, no inventions, nothing. So it should immediately right there stop for him and be like, okay, you know what? This was, a fruitless endeavor. I didn't get anything out of this. Maybe the math that we have is correct and is consistent because look at all we have to show for it. Look at all of this around us. We are surrounded by the product of mathematic breakthroughs. And Terrence Howard's math has nothing like that. So it should have come back like, okay, it was worth a try, didn't happen, we move on. And then he could have gone into different avenues to pursue more knowledge or more discoveries, but he hasn't. He has locked himself down to something that is completely false, and he's taking as many people with him as he can. And I think that shit sucks. People need to stop just taking in other people's perspectives as their own and start actually just thinking for themselves and putting into practice the things that they're being told to see if they make sense and if they're right. That's it. I mean, that's really about it. I'm not going to keep droning on about this. It's just so fucking frustrating. That's it. See ya. There's no better way of starting your morning quite like a nice bowl of spaghetti and an extremely goofy story about a Miami teacher showing a 4th grade class a horror movie about Winnie the Pooh basically being a cannibal. It's an extremely weird story I can't wait to dive into. So, apparently he showed them this movie by accident. I don't know how you make that kind of mistake considering the movie's title is Blood and Honey. Like, I don't know what he thought that meant. Like, maybe, blood of Christ. Maybe he thought it was very religious. I have no clue. But even when he played the film and the kids were asking him to turn it off, he refused to. So it doesn't really sound like an accident to me. This sounds like some kind of weird, nefarious prank. Like, I don't know if this is an Impractical Jokers situation where he had someone in his ear telling him that he had to play the entire movie to the classroom. I have no clue. But this is a movie I actually made an entire video on because of how shitty it is. So I can promise you, even if this wasn't played for a 4th grade class, anyone this movie is played for will be begging you to turn it off. I was almost begging the movie theater to turn it off when I was in there watching it. It is trash.
Before students from the Academy of Innovative Education were let out of class, this mother let out her frustration.
I feel completely abandoned by the school and
Michelle Diaz reached out to CBS News Miami. She said her 4th grader twins were distraught because of a movie their math teacher played for students on Monday, October 2nd.
I don't know what math lesson this was supposed to teach. Winnie the Pooh plus blood and gore equals scared children. Even if he didn't play the horror movie, I feel like why would you even play Winnie the Pooh for a math class? What's that going to really do? Just seems like he didn't feel like teaching that day and he just happened to have Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey on a DVD in his backpack and he was like, alright, we'll let it rip.
20 to 30 minutes to a movie called Winnie the Pooh, Honey and Blood.
We need to go.
This is the trailer of the film. It's rated NR, meaning not rated. The premise? 2 bloodthirsty murderers, one of them wearing Winnie the Pooh mask, terrorized a group of young university women.
Now I've got to call into question the journalistic integrity here, because that's not what the movie's about. It's not 2 men wearing masks, it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. It's supposed to actually be them, so they got the plot synopsis a bit wrong here. But that's all water under the bridge, that's no big deal here. I love bad movies. I gobble that shit up more than Winnie the Pooh gobbles up honey. But this one was absolutely horrendous. And the kids got 20 to 30 minutes of it, according to the parent there. Which means they got quite a bit of gore and titties. So one of the first scenes, well, it's not one of the first scenes, but an earlier scene in the film, Winnie the Pooh is hunting down a woman. And after he catches her, he rips her shirt off and her titties start flopping around like they just got hit by NVIDIA jiggle physics. And he goes, "Ooga!" He doesn't make that noise, but he stares at him really wide-eyed because he's looking at breasts, and then he throws her in a wood chipper. All of that's very early in the film, meaning that 4th grade classroom saw all of that in their fucking math class.
He didn't stop the movie, even though there were kids that were like, hey, just stop the movie, we don't want to watch this and whatever.
How was that movie picked?
So he said that the children picked it. It's not them to decide what they want to watch. It's up to the professor to look at the content.
Yeah, to me that seems like a load of fish paste. I'm calling dirty barnacles on that. I don't think the kids chose Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, but let's assume, suspend disbelief for a second, that they did. Why would it even be an option here? And when they were asking him to turn it off, why wouldn't you just turn it off? it doesn't seem like this was accidental. It doesn't seem like, oh, you made your bed, time to lie in it. You wanted Winnie the Pooh blood and honey? You're getting Winnie the Pooh blood and honey, you little bastards. You fucking rapscallions. Just should have been able to instantly recognize that this isn't the type of film that should be playing for a 4th grade classroom. I remember that there was like celebration days in middle school where you'd have like a pizza party and a movie. This would be the worst pizza party ever. I'm just chowing down on a triple cheese pizza and I'm watching Piglet bisect a woman with a battle axe and I'm begging the teacher to please turn it off, but they're just doing this to me. Nope. Like, what the fuck? You're gonna sit there and watch it. It's part of the curriculum. This is math in action in the real world. It's like, come on, man, just turn the fucking film off. They clearly didn't know what they were getting into when they allegedly chose this movie.
Oh, I want a different professor for them.
So you want him out?
Yes.
Did you address that to the school?
Yes.
And what did they say?
That they were going to handle it internally like they always do, that they're very careful.
I can understand not trusting this professor going forward. This is a really weird thing to do. It's not like an honest mistake, because the movie pretty much immediately makes it clear that it's not for kids. It's pretty aggressive. So, like, not turning it off after that and then refusing to turn it off even when the students are telling you to, that is some diabolical behavior. Like, fucking peeling their eyes open to make sure they're watching Winnie the Pooh and Piglet murder people and eat them and whatever. That is weird. I don't know what kind of disciplinary action the school board's going to take. Maybe refusing his access to DVD players or a VHS player or something. I have no idea. But I definitely get the parents not wanting their students to be in this person's class anymore. I saw this tweet kind of pop off in response to this story, and I just gotta share it with you because it gave me a hearty giggle. Mr. Smith sat at the head of the dim classroom, a bead of sweat running down his temple. Please stop, the children wailed. Emma passed out. We need to take her to the nurse. We can't stop, he thought. I can't stop. It's only a mistake if you admit it. We have to keep going. And besides, he pressed the volume up on the remote, drowning out the children's pleas as Piglet's chainsaw tore through a young woman's neck like wet tissue paper. Innocence ends. We all have to learn sometime. He was a teacher, and the children were there to learn. And the more I pondered this deep, profound narrative, the more I started to recognize that this may very well explain why he refused to turn it off. There's something that all human beings are innately born with, which is what I call the too far gone threshold, so fuck it. It's where you're too deep into something to admit that you've either made a mistake or too deep into something to back out now, so you have to see it through. We have all been there, where you just have to commit to something because you've already embarked on this journey for too long now. So I think in this case what may have happened is he starts the movie up truly innocent, not realizing that this is an inappropriate film for kids, but then it becomes quickly clear after the first murder, and maybe even after the first set of titties, that, you know, this is a problem. But he can't turn it off because then he admits a huge fault on his end, so maybe he just sat there like, shit, we've come this far. I can definitely think of a way of spinning this in like an educational manner. Okay, so perhaps the honkers, the two honkers, are representative of algebraic expression, the FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last, okay, yes. And Winnie and Piglet on a murdering rampage is a lot like slope-intercept form. Like, I actually do think there is real merit to this theory that perhaps he was just too deep in it and he thought it'd be worse if he just turned it off and admitted that he fucked up. So he just sat there trying his best, sweating profusely, to think of a reason why this film was playing for 4th graders. And ultimately, he couldn't come up with anything. The head of the school came forward with a statement as well, saying that they're also investigating and taking disciplinary measures here. I don't think they're letting the professor go, at least not from what I've seen about the story. It looks like they're looking at alternative methods, such as, like, don't ever play another movie in class ever again. But yeah, I just had to share this story with you all. I saw it first thing this morning, and man, what a fucking wacky one it was. That's about it. So yeah. It's that time again where I drop trousers and plant a stinky one on Burger King. It is unbelievable how often I make fun of this company. I believe they have some of the worst fast food in the world. Your money would be better spent buying rats to eat than their food. It is just absolutely terrible. But the thing that keeps me shooting spitballs at them is they are addicted to awful, awful decisions. They're like the Ubisoft of fast food. They're just incapable of even accidentally stumbling into a good decision for their business, at least in America. Every time I mention this and go on this rant on stream, there's always someone like clockwork that says, but Charles, that's only in the States. Internationally, Burger King is serving up some high-quality cuisine. You know, what's better than serving up smiles? It's like, okay, I guess I can't speak for the quality of Burger King outside of America, but every Burger King in America is a fucking hate crime when it comes to food. It's terrible. It's terrible. And now their most recent announcement is probably their stupidest one yet, which is, that's an accomplishment. That is actually an achievement. I cannot believe Burger King found a way to get stupider, but they did it. That orb of confusion working overtime over there at the Burger King HQ.
Good morning, Patty.
Would you want an AI voice in your headset all day at work, built to assist you?
Looks like the women's restroom needs cleaning.
But also potentially listening in on your interactions with customers.
Thank God, finally! An AI assistant that can jack into the headset of all Burger King employees to act like their fucking mother saying, hey, did you remember to clean the bathroom? Go lick the shitters clean, please. Burger King demands it. And then also monitoring your speech to ensure you are saying please and thank you enough times per day. Excellent. This is what everyone's been begging for. This is probably the most desperate attempt to ham-fist AI into a corporation to try and see any kind of like clawback on money, because I bet Burger King's already lost quite a bit investing in AI and somewhere in their pipeline, so they're like, okay, let's check for please and thank yous, and then anyone who's not, pinky up saying please and thank you to every customer will just fucking fire. And they're trying to frame this as a friendliness coach. My left butt cheek, a friendliness coach, all it's doing is reminding them to do chores and monitoring their speech. It's going to be used as a tool of fear, because if you don't say please and thank you enough, or go, shove your head in the toilet and give yourself a swirly when AI Patty at Burger King tells you to do so, you might lose your job. How is this coaching you in any way, shape, or form? This is outrageous. And also, believe it or not, Burger King's biggest issue isn't the lack of manners and friendliness. It's not because they're devoid of pleases and thank yous. That's not why people avoid Burger King like the plague. It's because they literally serve up the plague on a bun. They serve you sewage. They serve you radioactive sludge. If Burger King wants to improve customer satisfaction, work on your fucking menu, not the pleases and thank yous from your employees.
Well, that's what a new tool at Burger King plans to do, and it's causing quite a stir. The company's chief digital officer telling The Verge the new BK AI, named Patty, was listening for certain words like please and thank you, so managers could see how their staff was performing on friendliness.
The chief digital officer over there at Burger King is a damn clown. Well, this is so fucking stupid. What in tarnation? Imagine everything goes wrong in your life and you unfortunately go to the Burger King drive-thru because every other fast food place is burnt down for some reason. So you're in the Burger King drive-thru and you're communicating with the worker and they just keep saying please over and over and over again. And you pull up to the window and you see sweat pouring down their face. They're fucking panic in their eyes because they've got Patty in their headset threatening their life. If there's not enough pleases in there, they're gonna stop their heart or something, like blow up their brain like it's Suicide Squad. You only said please 15 times during that interaction. I'm sorry, Doug. This is the end of the line. Their fucking head pops.
Burger King providing NBC News with this video showing off the new tool.
Is there anything that needs my immediate attention?
The team's friendliness scores this morning were the highest this week.
Yeah! New record for the friendliness score! We did it, Burger King employees! We're super friendly! Thank you, AI assistant Patty, for keeping everyone in line and coaching us on how to say please and thank you enough. We saved Burger King!
The company telling us in a statement that the tool, listening for keywords, was used in limited pilot restaurants.
This is anonymized data, so it is not tied back to an employee.
Let me interrupt you there. No, it's not. You're full of shit. You're full of fucking dog shit, actually. There's no such thing as anonymized data in the current day and age. Everything you interact with, everything you use, and it's certainly every AI spy that they're jacking into your fucking headset is collecting data. No doubt in my mind. I don't even know why you're bothering to try and spin that baloney. Everyone knows that's not true, brother. What the fuck is even the point in trying to hide it? There's no punishments for it or anything anymore. Just say it with your whole chest. Everyone knows. It's despicable, but that's the state of the world right now.
And it's really a coaching tool. It's about ensuring that we raise the hospitality for the overall restaurant.
The company also saying, we believe hospitality is fundamentally human.
Fundamentally human, you say? Why are you using AI to teach it then? Oh, this hospitality thing, fundamentally human. Which is why we brought in Jarvis over here that can blow up your asshole if you don't say please enough to teach you how to be human. That makes a lot of sense there, Chief Digital Clown. Good work.
You could call it the friendly wars in retail.
The customer interaction matters. And for evidence of this, just take a look at the success of Chick-fil-A. A lot of people, when they talk about Chick-fil-A, don't actually talk about their chicken sandwiches. They talk about how the employees greet them.
What world are you living in, Buster? When people talk about Chick-fil-A, they are often talking about the food. Them having to say, my pleasure, like fucking corporate drones, is not necessarily something people love about the experience. I don't know real human beings, like real non-bot people that go to Chick-fil-A and really feel like butterflies in their tummy and get tingly and excited when they say my pleasure when they get served by the Chick-fil-A employee. They are forced to say that. That makes it a non-genuine interaction. That makes it insincere. The reason Chick-fil-A is successful is not because they say my pleasure, it's because the food is very high quality compared to other options, like fucking Burger King, for example. This is ridiculous. And improving the friendliness score of Burger King isn't the secret ingredient here, the chemical X to save the business, man. There's only like one spot worse on the planet for food than Burger King, and that's Long John Silver's. Like, if you go to Long John Silver's and you try and eat the whole menu, you're basically committing suicide. So that is like the lowest food can go, and Burger King is just barely above that. And no amount of friendliness is going to change people's want to be in Burger King. Like, Long John Silver's could offer you a blowjob every time you walk through the doors, and people probably still wouldn't go if they also had to order food to receive it, because it's not worth it. It doesn't matter how friendly they are. Is it a nice thing if the employees are, like, really friendly and customers feel like, they had a joyful experience or whatever? Yeah, that's cool. Like Culver's, I've always mentioned. Culver's is my favorite fast food place. I think their food is extremely good. And I've only had a positive experience there. Like, the first time I ever went to Culver's, the manager or whatever came up and apologized for the long wait for my fucking chicken tendies, even though it only been like 2 minutes. I didn't even realize I was waiting. Like, I had placed the order and then I sat on my phone for like what felt like 10 seconds. The guy came over and was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry this took so long. Here's a little gift card for some custard and stuff. I'm super sorry for the wait. It's almost ready. I was like, brother, I didn't realize I was waiting. It's no big deal, man. And like, he was super nice. And like, every time I've been to Culver's, everyone's been great. But that's not the reason I keep going back. It's because the food is really good. That's just a nice little perk, I suppose. But the food is the reason why I keep going back to Culver's. And that's going to be the same song and dance across the board. And like, the difference is, when it feels organic, it's significantly better when it's forced by Burger King's AI patty that's jacked into their cerebral cortex, forcing them to say please and thank you out of fear for being fired. Like, if you're trying to create a positive atmosphere, it should probably start with the employees, I would say, more so than the customers. If the employees are happy and having fun, the friendliness score might just naturally boost because, well, maybe then it'll be a better environment that they'll want to interact more positively with customers as opposed to being forced under the corporate thumb to do so. It's so dumb. This whole idea of an AI assistant being used to coach employees on how to be friendly. It's outrageous, it's absurd, it's fucking gross. What a completely useless use of AI for the sake of having AI in Burger King. I cannot believe how dumb Burger King is, man. It blows my mind. So anyway, just wanted to insult them, again, for the millionth time, because they keep doing absolute garbage like this. That's about it. See ya. Surgery is a very scary thing. You are literally putting your life into someone else's hands. And unfortunately, sometimes those hands aren't focused on the task. They're focused on doing some of this. And maybe even a little of this. And God forbid, Lord help us, sometimes even this. What I'm talking about today is the dancing doctor trend. It's kind of dwindled in popularity after some of the doctors participating in it lost their license because of it, which I think is justice served. And in fact, I think that's not far enough. I think if you are a doctor who is compromising the health of their patient because of this dancing trend that you did, you should probably face a little bit more than just the license being revoked. You literally put their life at risk for some clout. Like, that's not an exaggeration to say. Now, this was a bit of a viral trend for a little bit. It actually predates TikTok. It actually was before TikTok, where for some reason some doctors got it in their fucking noodle that this would be like a really quirky, fun marketing thing for their practice, and somehow didn't recognize that this would scare the shit out of people, because no one wants their doctor to be the zany goofball who's going to, fool around during very sensitive surgeries. Would stop to film TikTok videos of them dancing with like pieces of their patients in their hands and using it as props, or just generally dancing or filming skits while operating on a patient. Just imagine that nightmarish scenario. You're about to go unconscious from the anesthesia, and as your eyes are closing, you hear the tick-tock 3-second countdown. And when it hits 0, you just go straight to Valhalla. It's such a terrifying thing to think about because surgery is so sensitive. You don't need me to sit here and tell you how dangerous surgery can be. Obviously, if you've developed object permanence, you can fucking recognize that surgery is something that is not to be taken lightly. It's not small potatoes by any means. So when you're going under for a procedure, you would pray that all of the doctors there are on your team, there for you 100% to, fix whatever the problem is or whatever's going on there. But in this trend, it was the exact opposite. It's like they waited for the patient to go to sleep and turned that fucking operating room into a nightclub. Hey, is the idiot asleep? Perfect. Drop the disco ball, bring in the dancing lobsters. Jill, hit it. Where are my boner jams? We're filming a TikTok. And it led to some problems. Now, the one I want to focus on today is a video that actually was very popular a few years ago and is making the rounds again because there is a follow-up to this story that I'd like to get into after showing it to you.
Latoya Arsheen was among the first to see video of Dr. Wendell Boutte making an incision and mugging for the camera while the rap song Cut It played.
I don't want to get DMCA'd, so I'm not letting the song play, but you know how the song goes. You need to cut it. Little acapella for you.
That's Arsheen on the table. Cut It is your song, girlfriend. You did awesome. The photo release form is signed only by a member of Boutte's staff. Where Arsheen was supposed to sign is blank.
I feel disrespected on a lot of levels.
The song's playing here again while they're dancing with a portion of her flesh. This is actual Ed Gein type shit. This is diabolical. That's like something a Dark Souls boss would do. Use flesh as some kind of instrument. That is so disturbing. Like, I don't know what they were expecting with this video when they posted it. Like, did they think this would become like the official music video for Cut It or something going forward? Or like, I don't know how they thought this was a good idea and how they wouldn't get in trouble for it. Like, this is not what you would want your doctors to be doing while you're under. Because then you have to start to question, well, what else did they do that wasn't filmed? Like, I woke up from the surgery and my butt was a little sore. I'm questioning a lot of things now. Like, what's going on? Like, this is only what they filmed. A far more horrible things also could have been happening off camera. And even what happened on camera is unacceptable. It's just so fucked.
Do you think that's your flesh?
I think it is, with the Cut It, the remaining of the song.
Former patients have now come forward with complaints. Arsheen plans legal action not just about the video, but about her results.
How does your body look now?
Disfigured.
So according to her, her body is disfigured as a result of the surgery, and from what I can tell, many other complaints say the same thing, that they had less than stellar results. As you would probably guess, if your doctor was more focused on making TikToks as opposed to the actual surgical procedure they were supposed to be focusing on. You'd probably have better luck getting your surgery done by some mysterious shady goober off the black market. You'd be risking your kidneys, but in a practice like this, you're risking your whole life here, because you might just die on the operating table because they're too busy focusing on hitting like a fat fucking Gangnam Style while you're under on the table. Really dated myself on that one because I couldn't think of any of the new dance trends, but you get what I'm saying. Now, like I mentioned, a lot of these do predate TikTok. This one in particular, this happened in 2017 through 2018, and it was posted to YouTube and Instagram. But this trend did persist all the way into TikTok, and I'm sure some of you have seen more recent headlines about some dancing doctors on TikTok that have also faced some repercussions for that, luckily. But this one is, I think, the most shocking one, because they are actually dancing around with pieces of the patient. So, the follow-up to this story is there was a lawsuit launched here, obviously, from former patients of this practice. There's numerous videos of Dr. Wendell Boutte here dancing as their patients are under, and as you've seen, even using them as, or parts of them, as props in the dancing. While she's operating, also dancing. The surgical assistants, everyone who even enters the room just gets hit with this fucking boogie virus and they just can't help but dance for the sake of these videos, all while they're supposed to be doing surgery. She faced numerous lawsuits, all of which I believe have resolved, and she's been ordered to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to the victims. She had her medical license suspended, but from what I can tell, it was only suspended for 2.5 years, which means she can legally practice medicine again in Georgia? I actually can't find a follow-up on that, but she wasn't permanently suspended, which I have to raise an eyebrow to. I don't know how this didn't become like a more criminal case where she'd face jail time. Like, I think it is super severe, especially when you look at some of these cases. So, a patient named Silma Cornelius went into her practice, and she was only there for a couple of small things, but was eventually convinced to do bigger procedures, and eventually paid $11,284, and then also had another scheduled cosmetic procedure down the line. So she went back on February 18th of 2016 to return for that cosmetic procedure, and something went wrong. 8 hours into the surgery, after anesthesia was discontinued, and before her lower abdomen had been sutured, she went into cardiac arrest. Paramedics arrived at the scene, and it took 30 minutes to close up her abdomen, and they had to carry her down the stairs because there wasn't an elevator big enough to accommodate a stretcher. And by the time she arrived at the medical center, she was in severe distress, unresponsive, and unable to breathe without a ventilator, and suffered a severe and debilitating catastrophic brain injury, and left her reliant on a feeding tube and around-the-clock care. The quirky dancing doctor was legitimately ruining people's lives, disfiguring them permanently, and in this case, leaving a woman with permanent brain damage. Under no circumstances should she be allowed to practice again. It's not like this is just some kind of freak mistake that she made one time. She had dozens of videos doing this with many victims. Like, this isn't just some kind of whoopsie-daisy that someone makes, like, oh, how was I supposed to know that dancing during surgery and, parading around parts of the patients was a bad idea? Like, what do you mean? This is new information that nobody knew. Like, I couldn't have avoided this. This was truly inevitable. It's fucking ridiculous. I really think she got off very easy in this case. Yes, she was ordered to pay back hundreds of thousands of dollars to some of the victims, but she was also an extremely successful dermatologist. I don't think that hurt her very much. Like, she got off of this, in my opinion, very easy. Now, the anesthesiologist in that Cut It video you just saw also faced some legal problems as well, but he was actually cleared of malpractice last year. In that video I showed you with Cut It playing, Dr. Roland Pinkney was in there dancing as well. He was the anesthesiologist that day, and he was facing some legal issues here, but was ultimately deemed not liable in any way for what the victim had experienced. As a result of this, 100% of the fault was put once again on Wendell, and basically they were arguing that him dancing was not a breach of care. Like, the argument they made ultimately was that it was just him being less than professional, but him being unprofessional doesn't constitute breaching the medical standard of care that he needed to uphold. I have to firmly disagree here. I feel like anyone in that operating room should know that you shouldn't be filming fucking YouTube videos and TikTok dances while you are in the middle of a surgery. Now, in his defense, he was under the impression that the patient consented to having that kind of content made during the procedure. So it does get a little fishy there with exactly what he was aware of. That is a weird thing to consent to. I don't imagine there's many people out there that would be super happy to see themselves under the knife and having their doctors like dance around with their flesh. So that still seems a little odd to me, but ultimately he was found not in, in violation of that medical standard of care. It was no malpractice on his end was the verdict. But yeah, pretty fucked up situation that I just wanted to talk a little bit about because I dove into it pretty deep today. That's really about it. So yeah. Thief falls through store ceiling twice. Oh, he's over here. Oh, this guy's a genius. He set up a decoy. I thought this was him. I was wondering how he gets to the ceiling. Oh, we got a real fucking criminal mastermind here. He thought of everything. It's like some shit out of Johnny Bravo when he went to steal a giant diamond. Got like a little rope and everything. I just don't get it though. Thank God for that rope, am I right? A nice slow descent. What's the point? He's clearly he's robbing the place. Look at all the good loot he's walking away with. Or maybe he just wanted to try out his rope. I'll see if I can break into this place with my rope, fuck it. Oh, he's trapped in here. This man's hatching so many plans, and every single time he thinks of one, it almost immediately doesn't work. But he's on to something now. Unfortunately, the title spoils what happens next, but I like where his heart's at. He's hatched an idea and he's acting on it. I can't imagine where he falls through next. Why would you climb up here and then go this way? Oh, I see. He never even made it onto the panels. I wonder how he's doing now. Oh, he's fucking cooking. He's almost out. I see it. Alright, we were close on that one. I think one more time, and we should be free. Man's gonna just call the cops on himself to let him out. What do you mean if you know the whereabouts of this subject? He's still in the store. It's become his sarcophagus. He hasn't left. Just check the store. Oh my god, he falls through the roof as well. Or the ceiling. Man, how many fucking people fall through ceilings? I used to do vodka coke. That was always my mixed drink of choice. Cheap. And it just tasted like drinking very cold Coke. Very unpopular mixed drink though. None of my friends liked it, and every time I ordered it at the bar, they always very confused and gave me some shit. So the owner's trap was locking all the doors? He's delivering some really strong kicks there. That door is putting in work. Oh, and he's going with the old horse kick as well. This is not his first rodeo kicking down a door, but he has never fought an opponent like this. That shit is vibranium. So what is he even doing here? It doesn't look like he was even trying to rob the place. It looked like he was escaping. Oh, that's rough. Oh, there goes the hammer. Are we sure that this belongs to just like a normal shop owner and not somebody that was like torturing this guy and he finally got an escape going? Only to get trapped in the second phase of the solve trap. Because it didn't look like he was even trying to rob this. He's getting really close. I think that was a really fucking dumb plan. Look how close you are with the door. You can absolutely kick off the bottom, I think. I don't think you'll get through the deadbolt, but you will definitely bust the bottom up. Crawl through it. Can't believe he hasn't torn his Achilles yet. Oh, and now he's just going to pop his shoulder out of place. Very good, very good. The panic is really setting in. Next he's going to just take the hammer and start hitting himself with it. I don't understand. Is he running out of oxygen or something? What is happening? That leg is gonna snap any minute now. But I'm sure he's resourceful enough to find a second means of getting this open. Wait, is this one of those push locks where you push it up and pull it to the side? Has that been there the whole time? Oh my fucking god. To be fair, I also didn't notice it, but I'm also not looking at the door in person. I see he's still not free though. It looks like it is just a closet. This escape room has really bested him. God, did you just live here now or something? Holy shit, how long is this video? Oh my god, he's dehydrated, starving to death. I haven't been looking at the date up here. Is it changed by like a week or something? What's going on? This man's deteriorating. Oh, that was easy. Hey, what's up, pussy? Should have locked the cop in. That would have been a big brain move, but there's obviously another officer over here. That would have been like some mastermind shit, though. He just tucks his legs forward a little bit. This officer becomes trapped and he just has to take on one guy. It's like some GTA RP kind of shit. No, there's clearly two cops is what I'm saying. Chat, Jesus. You would never succeed as a fucking villain. A, cops don't respond to calls alone. There's always backup. And B, he was clearly talking to somebody over here while the officer was behind the door. This one? Never mind, it's pretty fucking cool. How does a mistake like this even happen?
And it's like super hot too.
This guy's gonna pull his fucking face out of there and he's gonna look like Red Skull from the Avengers. Come on! We can fucking do this! Is there just a fireman on the other side of that wall shooting a hose through and hitting him with it? That should help. Is that the end? Oh god! How is this happening? Oh lord, it's coming in again! Like a fucking submarine malfunction. You can do this! It's like when you hit a fire hydrant in GTA. Just turn the water off. Is this even a plumber? Is this just like your neighbor who said he can fix it? Even I know how to handle this. Come on! Here we are, we're back in the helm. Grandma's got the old wet vac out. That ought to fix it. Alright, it looks like we finally got her under control, I think. But you can never be... It's steaming. The water is so hot, it is fucking steaming. That guy is not getting out without third-degree burns. And even worse, it's being filmed. So he's getting burned and losing his job soon. Fucking rough. He is actually just getting reduced to ash in there. He's being cremated by this sink. Looks like we finally got it, though. Alright, now that we've boiled half the bathroom, looks like we're finally good. Nope. Spoke too soon? Every step she takes makes like a puddle of water blast out from her footsteps. Jesus Christ. It's like a Naruto running across. Oh god! Get out of there quick! You're in the danger zone! No! The rivers of hell have been unleashed again! Damn you! Quick! Grandma, get in there with the vacuum! Christ! We got a code red! Holy shit! Oh no!
They need to shut the water off.
Let's get another vacuum in here. Two's better than one. And maybe another plumber. Because a real plumber is better than whoever this guy is. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like a ride at Universal. Oh god. Oh, the apartment's already lost. Just collect your things and leave. It's over. It belongs to the sink now. Oh, here we go. He's got a big bucket. That'll fix it. Let's go. The reinforcements have arrived. The special tools are here. If we can catch all of the water, we'll win. It's a war of attrition. We'll just catch more water than it puts out. It's easy.
Are you calling the police or something?
What do you mean, what are the police supposed to do? I'd call the police in this situation too, like, help. A fucking plumber is assaulting me with my own sink. Yeah, I can still hear it spraying.
It's still going.
This guy's gonna fucking drown. He's gonna literally dry drown pretty soon. Oh my fucking god. It's not even connected to the water supply of the apartment building. This is coming straight from the ocean floor. That guy is getting cooked. By the time he finally leaves the bathroom, he's actually just gonna look like Larry the Lobster from SpongeBob. Oh, Jesus Christ. How is that even happening? Did we beat it? Is the boss battle over? Man. Water levels are always the worst, am I right? Jesus Christ. What a disaster. Oh, good idea. Reroute the water into the toilet. Now, maybe if we're lucky, we can overflow the septic tank and have it shooting shit water throughout the apartment, too. Yes. Oh, fuck! Oh, God, Jesus! Lord! We're back for more!
This whole fucking bedroom is fucking ruined.
Yeah, I'd say so. It is definitely ruined. You pissed off Aquaman, and he's not taking it easy here today.
Fucking shit.
Oh, it's the calm before the storm. I have a feeling it's coming back.
Fucking stairs. Fucking what the hell is this shit? This is worth fucking thousands.
Yeah, that was a really dumb argument. I'm not turning the water off because it's $100. Meanwhile, the whole apartment is ruined. Oh God, it's... It's even more aggressive now. You pissed it off in phase 6 of the fight. Jesus Christ. That man is getting pressure washed right in his goddamn mouth. I at least respect that he hasn't just given up. If it was me, I would have just left. I would have just walked out and been like, I fucking retire, I'm done, good luck. I would have just fucking busted the sink and leave. Oh man, that is a disaster in there. Looks like I think we've finally beaten it. Hey, at least we've stopped it before it caused any major damage. We got ahead of this one. It could have been a lot worse. Good work, team. Fuck yeah. Textbook. I'm thinking maybe like a 3-star review on the plumber's services, maybe? No, the plumber, I don't think it was the plumber's fault. It must have just been something with the pipes. The plumber did everything he needed to. Everything by the book. The apartment complex requires a $150 fee to be paid every 30 minutes the water is turned off. Holy shit. So it's entirely the landlord's fault and obviously the plumber. Wilmer, confident in his abilities and armed with his trusty 5-gallon bucket, knows that he will always get her return business if he pulls this off. He gets underneath the sink and unleashes a 90 psi torrent of steaming hot water. Hey, if anyone can handle 90 psi's of boiling water, it's fucking Wilmer. Wilmer ain't got no problem with that. His skin is made out of steel, god damn it. For all the morons who complain that I should have put down the camera and helped this waterlogged jackass, I chose not to help for liability's sake and instead document the incident. Absolutely the right call. I know for a fact, and it's probably not like this now, but I guarantee a lot of people are like, why the fuck didn't you help? Like as if he's supposed to do something. What he's supposed to do? Start doing like water bending techniques to put it back in the wall? Like there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for two people to be handling the same glory hole down there under the sink. So him filming is absolutely the best call. Plus, then if he helped and it still did this, he would then be liable for some of the damage, I imagine. No doubt. He made the right call for sure. It's been too long since I've watched a Nick Bolton infomercial. I probably don't have to explain to you who Nick Bolton is unless you're living under a fucking rock. He's like a real Avenger, like the Captain America, but in reality. Nick Bolton is the most decorated G.I. Joe soldier actor in all of commercial history, earning himself over 5 Bronze Stars, 10 Silver Stars, and 60 Purple Hearts, starring in 4 commercials advertising all kinds of tactical utility devices straight out of Batman's laboratory, such as the tactical lantern, the tactical shaver, the tactical sunglasses, and what you're about to see, the magnum opus, the tactical flashlight. It doesn't matter what tactical situation you find yourself in because Nick Bolton has got you covered. He's got a gadget for any kind of tactical situation that may arise in your life. I'm sure he'll soon come out with a tactical butt plug.
Everybody has a flashlight, but can your flashlight do this?
Yes. Yes, it can. That's kind of the whole point of a flashlight, to shine light at something. So before we really get into the commercial, I just want to say Nick Bolton unironically has one of the most American names I've ever heard. That is so fucking patriotic. The only name more patriotic than Nick Bolton would be something like Frank Hamburger. Now I want to give a little warning here because this commercial goes pretty fucking hard. I'm giving an epilepsy warning. If you do have epilepsy, you might want to skip the next scene like 5 or 6 seconds here. Because Nick Bolton doesn't believe in epilepsy, I suppose. If he can't taste it or fuck it, it doesn't exist to him. So it's just like a full-on strobing moment here that's just disorienting, and I imagine for epilepsy would be a problem. So just giving a warning there. They do it again, and I'll give you another warning later into the video, but just a little heads up.
Or how about this? The Bell & Howell Tactical Flashlight can. Similar to flashlights used by elite military units, the Bell & Howell Tac Light can do things no ordinary flashlight can do.
I like how they hype this bad boy up. This tac light is used by the world's top soldiers with at least 5,000 confirmed kills, and then the person they show on screen is wearing a hoodie and pantyhose over his face. I also really like this idea that it's going to stop a burglary just because you shine a flashlight at somebody. Maybe it would if the burglar is really shy. But I mean, couldn't you get the same effect by using any other flashlight or even just yelling like, hey, you're breaking into that shit over there and I'm watching you do it. This is a problem. I'm going to call the police. I don't think it's necessarily the tac light that's striking fear into their boners like, fuck, I was going to keep breaking into this, and if it was a normal flashlight I would, but I can tell that's a tac light. I can tell from the luminous flux that that's definitely a tac light. I'm fucked. I got to get out of here. My goose is cooked.
It's so bright, it can be seen up to 2 nautical miles away. And if that something that goes bump in the night turns out to be someone...
Spoiler alert and quick warning, they're about to use the strobe effect again like you're stuck at a fucking obnoxious nightclub, so just another epilepsy warning.
Only a tac light has a super bright strobe that can stun and disorient would-be attackers.
Yeah, far be it from me to question the experts here like Nick Bolton, but I can't imagine a flashlight is the best tool for self-defense. Like, that strobing thing would be annoying for like 1 second maybe, and then you're back to normal. It would only be effective if the burglar happens to be epileptic, or if the burglar happens to be one of the ghosts from Luigi's Mansion, and you also have a vacuum nearby to help. There's just no world where shining a flashlight at a burglar should be like your first means of defense. That should be something where it's like, shit, I misplaced my baseball bat with the nails in it. I can't find the shotgun. What do I have in this drawer? A flashlight. Fine. And then your next thought should be, I'll try and beat them to death with the flashlight, not try and like fucking stun them with it because of the strobe. Like, it's just not gonna work. It's a terrible idea. Unless that flashlight has the same intensity as like the fucking sun, you're not gonna get anywhere with this tactic. That's like downright dangerous advice to try and advertise this as like a self-defense tool.
A car battery will stop working in sub-zero temperatures, but even getting frozen in a block of ice couldn't make our tac light stop working.
Oh, that is fantastic news. Wonderful. I've been looking for a flashlight that I can hibernate with in a block of ice.
And it'll keep working when fully submerged in water, even 212-degree boiling water.
Excellent for those tactical situations you find yourself in where you're inside a volcano and need a flashlight. This bad boy will keep on working.
It's tough enough to survive getting run over by a Humvee. Try that with a regular flashlight.
I don't care how indestructible this tack light claims to be, I guarantee Nick Bolton could break it in the palm of his hands with those fucking meaty, red-blooded American bear claws of his. Those fucking meat cleavers. He could crush that fucking tack light into a massive diamond just from the pure pressure of his patriotism.
Compact and lightweight, it goes where you go. So you can feel safe in dark places at night, or just have the right light for emergency situations. What else? 5 preset modes. It's made of high-grade aircraft aluminum. The bulb lasts 100,000 hours. I mean, there's just nothing like it on the market today.
Yeah, but there is something else like it on the market. It's called every other flashlight that has ever been made. There's nothing in this commercial that tells me that this is anything unique when it comes to flashlights. They haven't reinvented a flashlight. It just does what every other flashlight does. I didn't see anything here that just is wild and wacky about the tack light that makes it stand out. Unless, like, when you shine the light, it calls Nick Bolton's hotline, his direct cell phone, and he'll come and beat the ass of whoever you're shining the light of. Or, like, when you shine the light, it calls in an airstrike if you use one of its presets. But I didn't see any of that. It's just a normal flashlight. So, I mean, yeah, pretty cool commercial, though. Can't get enough of Nick Bolton. That's about it. So, yeah. I just learned about a genre of content I never knew existed, and now I've become a huge fan of it. It's door-to-door salesmen posting their most embarrassing moments. Just proudly posting their own L's, as if it's like a report card to be proud of that's pinned on the refrigerator. It doesn't make any sense. So there's a few TikTok creators I was scrolling through today who claim to be a highly successful door-to-door salesman, but if you watch their videos, almost every single one of them is them making the people they're trying to close on angry, getting kicked off their property, and just generally never succeeding. And yet somehow that's supposed to serve as an advertisement for this product that they're selling to their audience, which is a guide on how to be a successful door-to-door salesman. It just doesn't compute in my little noodle up here. You're selling a course on how to be successful as a door-to-door salesman, yet every video you post is your failures. It doesn't add up. Like this equation, the mathematics, it's too advanced for me, I guess. Today we're going to focus on one test subject here, a very interesting specimen named Oliver.
How to make $250 tomorrow in 3 steps. 1. Go to Home Depot, buy a squeegee and a brush. 2. Go knock doors and ask them if they want a price on window cleaning. Hey boss, how are you? Good. Have you seen us? No. Good looking guys, gray shirts? Yeah. This is about? I don't know if you know Miss Palmer. I'm gonna take one step, I'll just show you and then I gotta run. We're just helping. We're not selling anything. Don't treat me like a dog, sir, I'm not. I'm just a hard-working kid.
Right now, okay? I'm really busy. Get the f out of here.
Okay.
Now, when I initially saw this, I thought it had to be satire, like this guy's just taking the piss on door-to-door salesmen. But he's not. Oliver, his whole career is being a door-to-door salesman and trying to bestow upon us plebeians his sage wisdom when it comes to this craft that he's clearly mastered here. So if you read the description, the caption on the video, it says, you know, how you can turn it into thousands of dollars. And then when he's going through, like, the beginning where he's saying, you know, 2, and then he holds up 3. Like, it's clearly supposed to be a joke, but he really does this. This is his job. And he just proudly showcases these horrifyingly shameful moments here. There's very few people in the world that like door-to-door salesmen. That's up there with, like, telemarketing scams. Like, people don't like to just be accosted on their front porch by people that don't really take no for an answer. So Oliver embodies that entire belief system and tries to teach others as well. Now, he does sprinkle in a couple of successful deals on his page, but it's hidden like pickles on a burger in between all of the failures that he showcases. It's baffling. And sometimes the descriptions are just way off. So it'll be like, here's how you make $300 in 5 seconds. And then he doesn't make $300, it's not 5 seconds, and you're left with your dick in your hand wondering where it all went wrong and why Oliver lied to you. It's just really confusing because from everything I see here, he's not that great at door-to-door selling anything. So buying a course from him would be like buying a guide on how to get laid from an incel. And like the footage they use to promote the, you know, getting pussy book is footage of the writer, the author, going up to women and them saying, ew, no. It's like really weird to try and advertise your door-to-door salesman course with the footage that he showcases.
Hey boss, how are you? Have you seen us?
What do you mean?
The good-looking dudes with blue shirts?
No.
You missed us. Show you super quick. We're giving a bit of a discount for dudes with glasses.
So Oliver has a script that he never really deviates from. He is actually a video game NPC with only a few dialogue options. He always starts with, hey boss, if it's a man, and then he always says we're doing a bit of a discount for something that the person is wearing or something appearance-wise, like sometimes, you know, women with short hair, women with curly hair, and they're like, haha, thanks. And then he goes into his hard sales pitch here.
You qualify. Give you a quick price.
Yeah, that would be good.
I love the setup back there. It's usually $309. Comes down to $209.
We have a plan to paint, but we want to wash everything at the same time. If you have a phone number or something that they can call later.
It's a job worth doing in a couple months. If things are worth doing in 3 months, they're worth doing today.
I don't want to do that today. If I can have your phone number.
Sure. If you call us back though, it's going to be $309.
Yeah, I see that.
If we could give you an awesome job, could we call it $149, give you a bit of a discount? If it's worth doing, then it's worth doing today.
I don't want to do that today.
He tries to really put the nipple clamps on him here. He wants to close this today, and he is not budging on it. So the guy is being very respectful. He's like, hey, you know, maybe we just schedule this for another day. Really not feeling it for this afternoon. But Oliver, he's on the hunt right now. So he just keeps dropping the price lower and lower, hoping that he can get at least like $100-something out of this exchange, because he knows he's not getting a call back later from this or anything like that. So it's just desperately trying to keep making a sale here on this guy who's just trying to be nice and indulge in the pitch, but eventually doesn't work out. They go their separate ways. Oliver does sometimes get pretty aggressive though. He follows the same script, of course, but sometimes he seems to get hurt because I think he has a pretty high level of entitlement.
Kind of the route coordinator
Just tell me what you're doing.
Showing's easier than telling.
No.
No. Come on, where?
We're doing real good. We got the nicest
I know.
one in the street.
I'd rate it A+.
Sorry,
We're just
guys.
doing...
We're really happy with what we've got.
What do you got?
Go away. Go on. This is my property. I want you off it.
But I haven't even told you what we're doing.
I'm not interested. I don't do things at the door.
Cool.
Okay.
People always say no to things they don't understand.
Oh, don't.
Have a great day. There's always one guy. I'm happy to check off the stubborn guy for the day. Have a good one.
Insufferable. The elderly gentleman here isn't the bad guy. Nobody likes door-to-door salesmen. Like, plain and simple. There are very few people that enjoy that. And the ones that allow you to go through the whole kit and caboodle song and dance of what you're selling are the ones that are just too afraid to just say no to your face and close the door, because that's not an easy thing to do for most people. That takes a lot. And most people, it becomes kind of like a high-stress situation trying to figure a way out of it, but no one's usually interested. So this old man just being blunt about it isn't necessarily a bad thing. Another thing I notice a lot with door-to-door salesmen is they really like elderly people because they're much easier to manipulate into giving them money for a usually subpar service and something they legitimately don't need in any capacity. So this guy was just not having it. He's saying, no thank you. But Oliver keeps pushing. He's like, oh, you don't even know what I'm doing here yet. Oh, people always say no to things they don't understand. Just being a fucking insufferable asshole. Like, condescendingly talking to this guy as if he's an idiot for not doing this. And it's just trash. Like, I think that's just awful. So then that clearly gets him even more riled up. And then Oliver's like, hey, I'm checking the stubborn guy off the list. Like, what is this? Elementary school? Hey, Junior, listen, no gold star for you. You're a bad egg, not a good noodle. You know, it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, you went up to him, he did not want it, you should have left when he said no, but that's not how you operate. When you hear no, you just keep pushing. It's all just super slimy, and of course nothing about him is genuine. He has set lines that he says to each person that he encounters because he doesn't even really view them as people. They're just potential money bags that he can grab a few bucks out of. It's just, there's nothing good about what he does. And I also don't really trust his claim about being this guru salesman. And he claims that he's made over 9,000 sales. But I truly think that's just a meme. Based on everything I've seen here, I don't put a lot of faith in that claim at all. And then he even tries to post testimonials, at least in one of the videos I saw, where it was just like 2 Discord messages from 2 completely random people that are claiming that they're making, a couple $1,000s a day thanks to everything that Oliver's teaching them, and I feel like there's no fucking way.
And we're giving a bit of a discount for people that are sitting on steps, which is coincidence, actually. Go around, count it up, just give you a quick price.
It's okay. We do it every other year, and we have someone we usually use, and this isn't our year.
Is he as good looking as me?
It's such a cringy routine, too. He always mentions himself being a good-looking guy, almost every single time, too. It feels like a lot of insecurity here that's brewing up and that he's trying to mask with this, I guess, bravado, perhaps? I don't know. It's just so off-putting. So pretty much every time he knocks on a door or approaches homeowners at their property, he mentions, like, hey, have you seen us? Like me, good-looking guys in this shirt? Well, here's our discount for, you know, ladies sitting on steps. Ha ha ha. I don't know. It's fucking awful. This did not lead to a sale, by the way. I'll spoil it for you. They were not interested, surprisingly.
I call it 125?
Sorry, I don't think it's in the budget right now.
125?
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
The caption on this one literally says how to close deals, and he gets a drive-by rejection. So he's talking to her at the door, wasn't working out. She then comes back around and says, nope, still a no, sorry, basically. And yet he still says how to close deals, even though, like, if you watch the video, he doesn't close the deal. He gets the door closed in his face, fundamentally. Like, she didn't, like, slam the door in his face or anything, but it was a no. I think that's probably enough clips here. I just find this to be so fascinating to hype yourself up as a guru of a craft, but then all of the evidence you present of yourself being that guru contradicts it, because it's mainly failures or just being misleading. Now, like I said, he does have a couple of successful closing deals here that he posts videos on, but I wouldn't even say it's the majority of it. I'd say it's like pretty even between failures and the deals he closes. And keep in mind, these are only the ones he films. I feel like he's filmed every single successful deal he's ever had and has only posted like half of his failures. So it's probably like a ratio of 500 failures to one person who just finally gives in after being pestered enough and says yes reluctantly to him. So it's not exactly the best ratio. I'm just spitballing numbers here, but that's kind of the impression I get. I just wanted to talk about it because I didn't even know this little genre of content existed, so I found it interesting. That's about it. So, yep. If you've been around this channel for a long time, you'll know that I've always enjoyed diving into the insanity that Kickstarter offers from time to time, just looking at some of the more outrageous product pitches. And today someone sent me this Kickstarter pitch claiming that it's the worst one the site has ever seen, to which I rolled my eyes and scoffed like an anime villain. The horrors I've seen on that site, I'm like a war veteran of cringe with PTSD, just remembering things like the Air Umbrella and Michael Superbacker, God bless. But I still decided to take a peek, so I dusted my shoulders off and decided to dive in, and interestingly enough, it is very bad. I don't know if I'd call it the worst. It's pretty awful, but I don't know if it's the worst I've ever seen. But I thought it would be still fun to dive into it, because this kind of content's something I haven't made in a while, so it'll be a nice little blast from the past for your ass.
There's more truth in here than what we're reading in the papers. Observe the millennials, the YOLOs, Generation Y, or why the fuck not, thinking they are special because mom and dad and their 5th grade teacher told them so. Armed with participation trophies and branded apparel to encourage superiority.
I think with just the first 15 seconds, you can immediately get the vibe behind this pitch. It's trying to suckle off of the cock of the Andrew Tate tough love formula, where it's like, everybody is a sensitive snowflake in today's society. Generation Y? More like Generation why the fuck are you still a bitch? Participation trophies out the wazoo, no one knows how to be a man anymore, no one knows how to think for themselves. Everyone you see is an NPC, just a zombie sleepwalking through life. Don't be like them. Buy my coffee. Like, he's immediately doing exactly what he's upset at the rest of the world for doing, being pretentious. That's this entire ad. Just some pretentious douchebaggery.
Newsflash. We all got the fucking memo. We see straight through your crap. Exhibit A. Look at the self-proclaimed artiste over here. Looking like a lumberjack from the 1800s. Low-budget lumberjack.
Pardon me, huh? Jiminy Christmas, have you ever seen a lumberjack? How does this guy look like an 1800s low-budget lumberjack? He's clean-shaven with slicked-back gelled hair. What are you talking about? It's just all around one of the weakest insults he could have squeaked out of his mouth there, because it sucks shit through a crazy straw. Not only does he not look like a lumberjack, but if he did, you're giving him a compliment. Lumberjacks are cool. The number one image that immediately gets into people's head when asked to think about a masculine man is a lumberjack. Like a fucking grizzly, bearded man oozing testosterone out of every pore in his body, chopping wood. That's like the quintessential man stuff, not drinking coffee from Kickstarter. He's trying so hard but failing to be a bully. And I feel bad for all the actors in this pile of dog shit, because all they do is stand there and let him go around and insult them. And they're not even insults, like he's just really bad at it, but it must have been so uncomfortable because I know they had no idea what this gig was going to entail. But they already showed up on set and were getting paid, so they just said, we'll let it rip. And it was probably extremely hard to not laugh at this guy being so bad at making insults.
I bet he's never even held an axe a day in his life. And what are these? Even your blindness is fake. Do you think your tattoos make you a coffee connoisseur? You realize that your devotion to non-conformity actually makes you conform. It's hypocrisy and flannel.
What are you yapping about? Do you think your tattoos make you a coffee connoisseur? Where is that coming from? What delusional dimension is your brain inhabiting? Come back to reality. Come back to us. I have tattoos, and I don't drink coffee. It's not like people get tattoos because all of a sudden it's going to make them a coffee expert or something. I don't know what tree he's barking up with that thought process, but it is confusing, to say the least. He's just blabbering on about some nonsense mumbo-jumbo and trying to, like, insult the people around him. Now, all of this is to sell his coffee, which is supposed to be the world's strongest coffee, which I guess he may have succeeded at, according to his Kickstarter page. One 12 fluid ounce cup of his coffee apparently contains 702 milligrams of caffeine, which is more than the other competitor, Death Wish, at 660. Over 700 milligrams of caffeine in a single 12-ounce cup is absurd. The Panera Bread lemonade wouldn't kill you as fast as this would. To put in perspective how much caffeine that is, if you consume 1,200 milligrams of caffeine in a pretty short period of time, you are likely to experience caffeine toxicity, which can be fatal. So if you drank 2 cups of his coffee, it'll just send you straight to heaven to meet your maker. You'll sail into Valhalla with insomnia coffee being the thing that killed you. What an embarrassing way to go. Why would you ever want a 700 milligram caffeine beverage? At that point, just do meth. Meth would actually be safer and more healthy for you than drinking his coffee. That is so mind-boggling.
But you don't give a fuck about individualism like flannel fuck over here. No. You're a clone. With enough creatine, protein, and self-loathing to keep your arms inflated and your dick shriveling. He's been keeping an eye on that Insta slut's ass for a while now. I think I saw him whimper at it.
The insecurity he's projecting with this scene in particular is just pathetic. Like, beyond embarrassing. This should not have made the final cut. This should have absolutely been scrapped ASAP. Oh, look at you. Drinking protein shakes, taking creatine, making your wiener shrivel up. What are you talking about? That's not what happens. He's just drinking protein shakes and taking creatine. That's not going to have any effect on his pee-pee size. Like, his penis is the exact same size, but now he is an overall more muscular man. More than you. Oh, all that self-loathing. You must be doing it because you're not comfortable in your own skin. You should be like me. No muscle mass and drinking 700 milligrams of caffeine every hour. And with my insomnia coffee, huh? That's what you should be. That's what a real man does. Drinking coffee to wash away all the pain and sorrow. Not lifting weights and drinking protein, idiot. And you were looking at sluts or something. He is just genuinely so bad at this shtick. Because he's just choosing things that are good. Being a lumberjack, being in shape and taking care of your body, and trying to portray them as a bad thing somehow, like, it makes no sense. He is actually horrible at trying to get across this, like, tough machismo, drink my coffee kind of thing. My coffee will make you a real man. Not like this guy who lifts weights.
Speaking of, behold, the voice of the common man. She's studying a magna cum laude in absolute fuckery. Purebred vegan, drove down here at a Mini Cooper. hit a dog on the way. If it wasn't a child. But don't worry, Daddy will pay for the dent. Stop taking relationship advice from misspelled Facebook posts. You need to realize no amount of Instagram followers, no amount of Twitter likes or retweets are gonna make up for the fact that you don't have a personality.
Ugh, it's so cringe. Going into like this edgy fanfic about this girl now. Oh, you hit a dog, or maybe a child, on the way here, but your dad's gonna pay for the dent. And then he goes with the cliche, no amount of Twitter likes or Instagram followers is gonna make up for no personality, you harpy, harlot. Oh, it's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Like the actors, I can't believe they're actually able to keep it together. Maybe this is like the 40th take, so now they're just like tired and they're just doing everything they can to get the fuck out of there. Because there's no way you wouldn't be breaking character here laughing at the cringe.
How the fuck does she keep that shit down? Look, I'm not perfect, but at least I don't hide behind a veil of pretense like these fake fucks. We're tired of the facade. Who are we really? Wake the fuck up.
Ooh, so profound. What a sign off. Wake the fuck up, samurai. Straight out of Cyberpunk. Really tried and missed. What a big old L of a Kickstarter pitch that was. What are you talking about, man? You're making coffee. Out of every character type he tries to shoot spitballs at, out of every trope he tries to insult in his pitch, he is by far the fakest out of all of them. He is the one with the facade. You're not more awake or better than anyone else just because you're consuming 700 milligrams of caffeine that's coursing through your veins like Bane's venom from Batman. Like, it's so silly. Well, just, if you want to make the world's strongest coffee, go for it and try and sell it on that merit, as opposed to go up this weird alley here with, like, it's time to wake up, and the only way to do that is by never sleeping again with 700 milligrams worth of caffeine in every cup of our coffee. It's so silly. I just had to make fun of this. Something I'm sure he understands. That was his whole ad, just making fun of people. So, I'm making fun of the pretentious businessman who thinks his coffee is somehow making him superior to everyone else around him when it comes to intelligence and enlightenment and waking up. What a fucking joke. That's really about it. See ya.